Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Tracking the possibility of some tornadoes once again in East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and possibly even up into Tennessee. What we're looking at here is atmospheric instability at ventusky.com. And whenever we see the atmosphere like this, especially over a large area, multiple states, including the Florida Panhandle. Florida Panhandle is included in this also. The weather could get very interesting this afternoon. I don't think we'll have an exact repeat of what we saw last Sunday, Easter Sunday into Monday, but the conditions are very favorable for severe weather today. So we're going to keep an eye on some already ongoing severe thunderstorms. There are severe thunderstorm warnings throughout this area. You see here highlighted in bright pink and dark burgundy, going through East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and this is going to move eastward throughout the day. And you can see it's already starting to develop over Louisiana, East Texas, into Mississippi, up into Arkansas. All of these areas could see severe weather today. Earlier, we just had a tornado warning north and east of Houston, Texas, moving northeast at about 50 miles an hour. These storms are moving rather quickly, not quite as fast as what we saw last weekend. Those were quite astonishing to see a storm's forward motion at 100 miles per hour, and I saw it multiple times in the state of Mississippi last weekend. So what we're looking at now are a collection of thunderstorms that actually spread all the way over into Louisiana and into Mississippi. We're going to keep a close eye on these because what I've been noticing, there's been tornado warnings pop up in these areas, and they're coming on rather quickly, and then they'll disappear. So that's kind of the trend that we're seeing right now. There was one on here. That's why I started the live stream, because I saw tornado warnings start to come on the radar. That means the atmosphere is getting primed for the possibility of tornadoes. And we can follow them here in about as near real time as you can get. And that's what we're going to do. We try to help out if we can. If it makes a difference in one person's day with regard to their safety, then it was definitely time well spent. We're tracking storms now in East Texas, north of Beaumont, northeast of Houston. We're going to be hopping over into Louisiana, and then, of course, Mississippi. This is going to be an all-day event. I'm not going to be doing a live stream all day. I'm just going to be on here at times when I think the potential is probably the greatest for tornadoes. And right now is one of those times. These storms are starting to gain some momentum. See a lot of lightning in these storms. They're very energetic. They're starting to gain some height. There could be the possibility of large hail, high winds, flash flooding in a wide area, especially through Mississippi. You can see a new flash flood, actually two brand new flash flood warnings that have just been issued. This map is going to change a lot today, especially here in the next 2 or 3 hours. Like I said, I'll be doing reports off and on throughout the day. Hopefully we won't see an outbreak like we saw last weekend, but like I showed you earlier, the energy is definitely there. Look at that. Once again, we've got these dark burgundies throughout the Deep South, extending from Deep South Texas all the way over into Georgia and then South Carolina. This is going to be moving into North Carolina later on tonight and quite possibly into tomorrow. Not quite as energetic as it is right now, but nevertheless, this energy is going to be moving towards the Carolinas and then through Georgia for the better part of 24 to 36 hours. A lot of energy. So the greens are flash flood warnings. There's two new ones. There was a initial one here when I first started, just south of Birmingham. There's a new one now in southeastern Alabama, and there's also a new one in northeastern Louisiana. And we're going to check on those here in just a moment. But right now, north and east of Houston, Texas, these storms here have the capability of producing tornadoes. There was just a tornado warning in the Woodville, Jasper area right in here. So we're going to keep a close eye on that all afternoon. I won't be doing a live stream, obviously, all afternoon. But whenever I see tornado warnings on here, definitely we'll be doing some sort of, whether it be a quick live stream or maybe I can send out something on the community page or something through another platform. I'm sure you guys are wide awake and on the ball in these areas. Tornadoes are no stranger to these areas. But sometimes these things can come on very, very quickly. Last week there was a total of 100 and I want to say over 112 now officially confirmed tornadoes by the National Weather Service throughout Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia, and over into South and North Carolina. And if I'm not mistaken, there was one up in Virginia all last weekend. And this is like a weather pattern that we're in. We're seeing it again today. And it's just now getting started. So when we see tornado warnings come on here, which they're going to be sooner than later, we're going to be right on top of them. Right now we're looking at severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, let's move up into the Shreveport, Louisiana area. And we're going to take a look at what's going on there. There's multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in those areas right now. And they're moving towards the Mississippi area, moving at about 50 miles per hour. A lot of lightning, as you can see here on the map. Let's go over to Shreveport. And here we are. Oh, wow. Wouldn't be surprised if this one here doesn't get a tornado warning. And that is in east central Louisiana. The exact area, a community by the name of Maney, M-A-N-E-Y. Don't be surprised if that doesn't get a tornado warning from the National Weather Service. Right now, this area is under a severe thunderstorm warning, actually 2. That expires in 7 minutes, but I would be very surprised if they didn't continue the track of that storm. Shreveport, Louisiana National Weather Service. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 1:15 p.m. local time. If you're in this area here, by Maney, by Fisher, Robeline, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 15 miles west of Natchitoches, 6 miles east of Maney. That's a community right there. Learn something new every time. Yeah, they did extend it. See? They just did extend it. In fact, quite a long ways. Large hail probably up in this area. It's starting to get very active, guys. Here we go. If you're in the areas of Montgomery, and we are in Louisiana right now, central Louisiana, about as central as you can get. Where are we at? Oh, here's another one. I learn something new every time I come on here with regard to the name of a local community. Atlanta, Louisiana. Had no idea there was an Atlanta, Louisiana. But anyway, they are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now as I do this video. You can see there's a lot of charge with these storms, high lightning content. You're starting to see hail up here to the north and to the east. These storms are getting cranked up, so be ready. If you're in the areas of Montgomery, Natchez, Clarence, Campty, Robeline, it's right on top of Robeline right now, and that's got a very strong signature. I don't see any intake just yet, but there's a very strong outflow associated with that storm. Just went through Pleasant Hill. It's coming up on Robeline. Severe thunderstorm warning expires in 51 minutes from the National Weather Service out of Shreveport at what time? 2 p.m. or it's until 2 p.m. At 1:06 p.m. severe thunderstorms were located 9 miles south of Coushatta, 10 miles west of Natchitoches, to Maney, moving east at 50 miles per hour. And these still are moving along at a pretty good clip, producing winds of 60 miles per hour, quarter-size hail. Locations include Winfield, Maney, Colfax, Campty, Montgomery, Allen, Provincial, Natchez, Clarence, Dry Prong, Calvin, Fisher, Robeline, Atlanta, and that is Atlanta, Louisiana. Powhatan, Cloudierville, Melrose, Bellwood, and St. Maurice. Central, actually a little bit south. That's a very strong system right there. Look at all that lightning. And I don't think that's a debris signature. At least I hope not. See that small pink area right there? That could be a debris signature. I hope not. I'm going to look real quick. Hang on. Sometimes these tornadoes can be rain wrapped and you... No, doesn't look like a tornado. So far, so good. A lot of lightning associated with these storms. Right now, severe thunderstorm warnings throughout Louisiana, over south and west of Jackson, Mississippi, and in northeastern Texas. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and a tornado could pop up any second. We're seeing flash flood warnings throughout the area. This storm right here is starting to develop a bow, and it's moving very quickly to the southeast. That is a very strong storm, and they did extend that severe thunderstorm warning all the way over to Georgetown, Louisiana. And that's for the next 51 minutes, and don't be surprised if we see a tornado, TVS, a tornadic vortex signature in this area. Wouldn't be surprised at all, if not very, very soon. So have your safe place in mind. I'm sure you guys already do. Interior room with no glass or a basement would be perfect. A lot of hail up in this area here. See the bright pinks, the dark pinks in this area by Sterlington? Look at that. That's a big hail maker. Wow. All right. A lot of storms moving through the area here. We've just got another one. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning up in northwestern Arkansas by Fort Smith. Another one down here by Texas between, let's see, where's that at? That's between Galveston and south and west of Houston. So we got 1, 2, 3. There's so many there on top of each other. Can't even tell. At least 3, quite possibly 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 severe thunderstorm warnings. Watch for the tornadoes. I have a feeling it could be any time. Be ready. Have your safe zone mapped out already. Interior room with no glass or a basement. A lot of hail up in this area here. Lindale, Van. That would be in the Tyler, Texas area. That would be in northeastern Texas. Strong storms moving through that area. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tornado warning come in this area. There's not one yet, at least not officially. But this system here is getting really cranked up. No joke. And that's in the Natchez area. I've gotten pictures from that area out of Louisiana. That would be in south. Actually, that's in central Louisiana, not south central. That is in about as central as you can get. North and slightly west of Alexandria. That would be in the southeast of Shreveport area. Very strong storms moving through that area. Watch for tornado warnings. They should... it wouldn't surprise me at all if there wasn't one here in the next 20 or 30 minutes, if not sooner. Those are very strong storms moving through the area. Not super tall. At least not all of them. These up here have some significant height to them in the 50, 60,000 foot range. And those are hail producers up there. And these are too, by the way. They're not, just thunderstorms. Those are producing hail of various sizes, anywhere from pea size to quarter size. Nothing, staggeringly big like we've seen before. I remember one time we were on here and we saw 4-inch hail. And that was down in southeast Texas. And they're no stranger to large hail like that. But to see it actually doing a live stream, I'd never seen 4-inch hail during a live stream before. Oh, wow. Those storms reach some amazing heights. And those types of storms have to have just a very unusual updraft, well over 100 miles per hour, in order to even achieve hail of that size. And then the hail comes back down at the same speed, around 100 miles per hour. So 4-inch hail can really do a lot of damage to cars and even homes. But severe, look at the lightning through here. Unreal. You guys need to be indoors if you're in this area. Area of Goldana, Clarence, Natchitoches, Natchez, Montgomery, Robeline, Pleasant Hills, kind of in between storm systems right now. Just went through one, and there's another one coming behind it. See, this one's starting to develop a little bit of a bow. It's hard to tell. There could be a rain-wrapped system in there. Tornado. I hope not, but you just never know with storms like this. Very well could be. But nothing official from the National Weather Service. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some here very, very soon. There was just a tornado warning north and east of Houston, in between Beaumont and Houston, Texas. North of Liberty, south of, here's another one, Cleveland, Texas. Not Ohio, Cleveland, Texas. In fact, this is the area that we saw the very large hail. 4-inch. It ended up being 4.5-inch confirmed down here in southeast Texas. Unreal. I can't even imagine being in something like that. 4.5-inch. That's bigger than softball, or it's at least softball size. They call it officially on the scale when they measure the sizes of hail, teacup. They go teacup, softball, baseball, tennis ball, golf ball, ping pong ball, and then quarter, nickel, penny, dime. And you have to have massive updrafts in order to reach even baseball size hail, 80, 90 miles per hour. And remember, tornadoes pull. That's why you have hail sometimes associated with tornadic storms. Maybe right before a tornado or even a severe thunderstorm, you'll hear that hail coming down, right? Well, that's because of the updraft from the storm. It's pulling air up, causing rotation, not necessarily always forming a tornado, but you'll get that sometimes brief outburst of hail. And then here comes the thunderstorm. Well, that's the updraft, because tornadoes and tornadic storms, TBSs, they pull air up. And big hurricanes they push down. And speaking of hurricanes, I have a feeling it's going to be an early hurricane season. So anybody over here along the coast, especially in the Gulf area, you guys are also no strangers to hurricanes. Get a little bit of everything except snow typically. But when it comes to severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, they've seen their share of hurricanes down in this area. And I think this year is going to be possibly an exceptional hurricane season. It very well could be. We got an unusual subtropical jet, and it's no telling what that's going to do with regard to wind shear. A lot of different variables. Could be an interesting hurricane season. So it could be very interesting considering everything that's going on right now. I mean, that's the last thing that we need. But we've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go up to Fort Smith, Arkansas real quick. Just kind of hanging out waiting on these tornadoes because I have a feeling they're going to be here soon. Fort Smith, strong system moving through the area of Clarksville, Arkansas. Just north of Arkansas. Boy, that's a tall boy there. Let me see how, just approximately. That's north of Fort Smith. That's between 60 and 70,000 foot tall. Look at that. Now that right there, 69,000, that's a hail producer right there. Big time hail producer. Haven't gotten any reports yet because it's in a rural area, and that's the best place to have giant hail. I'm not saying that that's a guarantee, but that's a very good indication whenever you see signatures like that on the radar, there's a very good chance there's at least some type of large hail. Even baseball size, tennis ball size. Very easy associated with that storm. If it wanted to, if all the components are there. It's got to have that updraft, though. And it's definitely got some sort of an updraft, or it would have never reached those incredible heights right there. Very tall supercell thunderstorm moving through northwestern Arkansas right now as I do this video, just east of Fort Smith, about 25 miles by Clarksville, Arkansas. Got multiple Clarksvilles. I got a Clarksville, Tennessee, I think. Yeah, right there. Clarksville, Tennessee. Come over here and you've got Clarksville, Arkansas. I learn something new every time on here with regard to names in states that I didn't know, these little communities. I do get a lot of pictures from people from various communities across the country and around the world. That tornado warning right there, brand new one. See it? Just came on. Central Louisiana, tornado warning in effect. And that's from the National Weather Service. We're headed right there right now. I figured they'd be coming on any time. Here's our first one. All right, let's see what the pros are telling us from the National Weather Service. There's the tornado warning. That's that storm we were watching by Robaline. See there? It's got an unusual appearance to it. Okay, here we go. National Weather Service out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Tornado warning for Grant Parish in north central Louisiana. Let's see. Natchitoches Parish in northwestern Louisiana, and Wynn Parish. This would be until 2 p.m. That would be local time. At 1:18 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 9 miles south of Natchitoches, near Provincial, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Hazard of tornado. Radar indicated rotation. Flying debris and everything involved with a tornado. This is a dangerous storm, and it will be near Montgomery. That would be Montgomery, Louisiana, around 1:40 p.m. local time. Other locations that could be impacted by this tornadic storm include Melrose, Flora, Provincial, Natchez, Bermuda, Aloha, and St. Maurice. They're advising people to take cover now. And that's the good guys and gals at the National Weather Service out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Tornado warning. First official one that we've had so far, and that's probably the first of many. So if you're in these areas, be ready for tornadoes. The possibilities are exceptional today, above 50%, some cases 60% for the possibility of a tornado. Some areas even higher than that. Conditions are very favorable. So we're looking at a tornado warning in central Louisiana. That's where we're at right here. That red corral you see on the map. That indicates a tornadic storm. Should say TVS right here. That says hail ½ inch. Let's see if we've got another. What are they reporting there? Rain. This is the storm system right here. That definitely has a unique appeal. I've seen some that had the big time intake, like we saw in Mississippi last week. It was a classic tornado. Had the intake in the front that was wrapping around counterclockwise, downdraft in the back, updraft in the front. Just an unbelievable storm. There was actually two at the same time. Still, it'd be years getting recovered from that. But there's a tornado warning right now in central Louisiana. This is where we're at, guys. All this energy is moving towards Mississippi, Alabama, eventually over into the Atlanta area. Very densely populated area over there in Georgia, Macon, Georgia. Right now, tornado warning in central Louisiana expires in 35 minutes. They're advising people in this location to take shelter. Interior room, preferably with no glass. Sometimes you just don't have any choice. But an interior room or a basement. A lot of stuff going on. It's starting to get very active through here. Look at all of the static. Look at all of the lightning. Multiple lightning strikes. There's Lucky, Louisiana. They're experiencing some severe thunderstorms. No tornado warnings, though. Tornado warning right now. Natchez, Montgomery, and Provincial, or Provencal. Just went through Roebeline, going through Powhatan, Campty, Atlanta, and that would be Atlanta, Louisiana, not Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia later, but Atlanta, Louisiana right now is on the edge of a tornado warning and in the middle of a severe thunderstorm warning. And that's Atlanta, Louisiana. And that's the only tornado warning right now, but it's probably going to be the first of many. First of many. I can't tell right now from this perspective. Wait a minute. Maybe we can. We looked at that earlier because I thought that might have been a debris signature. That's why I looked at it, because of that possible debris. Let's look again. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's rotation right there. Whether it's on the ground or not, I don't know. It's southwest of Natchez. See it right there? Let me stop it. That's rotation. Provincial and Natchez. There's a tornado in your area. Absolutely. Whether it's on the ground or not, I don't know. That's telling us there's debris. And there could have been debris earlier. I don't know. It's difficult to tell. Sometimes these storms get wrapped in rain, and they're, I'm talking about tornadoes, they're literally next to impossible to see. I mean, you can see signs of them, but they're not real obvious. This one here, there's definitely rotation in that storm. So you want to take shelter if you're in the path of that storm or anywhere near it, actually. Natchez, Montgomery, Clarence, Provincial, tornado warning. And that does look like a rotating supercell. Absolutely. Probably the first of many, guys, so be ready today. I'm just going to zoom out to see if there's any new tornado warnings. And where we're at, we're in central Louisiana right now. And that's very consistent with what the maps are showing us at Windy and Adventure Sky. Look at that. Right in the area. That's at windy.com. The bright pink is tornadic. So once again, they got it right. They're very good. Very good. A+ in my book. Windy and Adventure Sky. A+. And that includes weathercharts.com. A+ across the board. They're very, very good. And they called this well in advance. So here it is. You're looking at it. Natchez is probably experiencing very high winds, quite possibly hail, a huge amount of lightning, and quite possibly a tornado. I did see rotation on the radar. When you see the bright red, the bright green, you're looking at what that means is wind going in opposite directions very, very quickly. And that usually is a good indication of rotation. Tornado on the ground, or at least in the air. Maybe it'll stay there in central Louisiana. Big storms today. Last weekend, between Sunday and Monday, over 100 tornadoes confirmed by the National Weather Service. I think over 120. Look at all that lightning. Look at the concentration of that lightning. Look at that. Wow. Tornado warning. Natchez. I've gotten, right over Natchez right now. I've gotten sky phenomena photos from that location right here. Very good photos, in fact. That very well could be a tornado on the ground, guys. I'm going to look one more time at the relative. You're looking for bright red and bright green right next to each other. And when you see that, which we do, right there, that could be a tornado somewhere between Provincial and Natchez. Looks like closer to Natchez right now, But I can assure you, according to this radar, they're experiencing some very high winds and quite possibly even some hail. Those are fairly tall. Those are in the 60,000 foot range, I think. Let's take a look and see. If we can. Yeah, well, upper 50s. 59. Yeah, that's 60. 62. Those are big, tall, towering supercell storms. We're watching for intake in the front. Intake in the front means that wind has to go somewhere. And generally, you'll see outflow out the back. You'll start to see in some cases, the entire structure start to rotate counterclockwise. That's what we saw last week in Mississippi. It was just an unbelievable. It was a record-setting day. Never seen anything like it. And I followed a lot of storms for many, many, many years. And I will say the software has gotten really good over the years. The monitoring equipment, with regard to radar and different types of software. Then you've got, software like windy.com and Ventasky. They're very, very good. So this here looks like a classic tornado setting up, and there'll probably, this will be the first of many based off of what we're seeing from these different weather platforms. Very unstable air through this area. Lifted index is off the charts. Cape is off the charts in some areas. Wow, that looks strong. That looks very strong right over Natchez right now. Natchez, we're in central Louisiana. This is where we're at, guys. This energy is moving into eastern Louisiana, over into Mississippi. Parts of Arkansas seeing some activity. In fact, there was. It's since expired. There was a severe thunderstorm warning up by Fort Smith, but it did not last very long. That storm got so tall, it just basically collapsed. That's what happened to that storm. That's why it disappeared. It was way up in the 60, near 70,000 foot. Got so tall, it just collapsed. So that storm is no longer a severe component. That doesn't mean it can't recycle and do something again. But right now, right here's where the action's at. And that's actually intensifying as it's over Natchez, Louisiana. Very strong storm. That's a supercell right there. We've got one back here, too, that's very interesting. Look at this here. Look at that. That strong bow in the front. Talk about a shelf cloud. Right there's a shelf cloud right there. That's a shelf cloud that you saw on the thumbnail. That's what they look like on radar right there. So we're still under a tornado warning in central Louisiana. And right now it's the only one on the map, but look for that to change. Going over into Mississippi, eastern Louisiana, northwestern Mississippi, northern Mississippi later on today. It's going to come in two waves. There's going to be a strong presence of severe thunderstorms like right now for the next few hours, and then kind of somewhat of a quiet period, if you will, and then later on again this evening. Possibly even after dark in some areas. You could see tornadoes after dark. So it's one of those days where you want to keep an eye to the sky at all times and have a way to get weather alerts, whether it be, some way on your phone, whether it be a weather radio, anything that can give you a big heads up. I'm going to be doing live streams off and on today when there's a strong chance of tornadoes, but I'm not going to be on here for thunderstorms. You guys have all been in thunderstorms and heavy rain. There's no point in doing that. But the tornadoes, those things are, they've been very strong this year. I don't know if it's a record-setting year. It's still early. I mean, we're still in spring. April and May are usually the biggest producers of tornadoes, and I know last weekend there was over 120 in just 2 days. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 130. And those were just the ones that were reported. That's not counting the ones that possibly popped up out in a rural area that went unnoticed. They may have been spotted on radar, but never confirmed, Natchez, Louisiana. That's where we're at in central Louisiana. We are in the middle of a tornado warning. I'm going to look for rotation one more time to see if it's... Well, actually, we'll keep checking it until the warning expires. Definitely have rotation near Natchez, Louisiana. Absolutely. Bright red, bright green, next to each other. That's rotation. Let's see if there's debris. Debris will tell you if it's been on the ground. There is debris. Okay, so it looks like there's a tornado by Natchez, maybe south of Natchez. Hopefully it'll stay south. Out in a rural area, hopefully. That's what it looks like to me. That's how I interpret that data. That's how we interpreted the data last week when we saw the bright green and bright red twice at the same time going through south central Mississippi, the dual tornadoes. That was unreal. Never seen anything like that before on these radars, on any. Not at the same time. That was unbelievable. Tornado ended up being, one of them was 2.25 miles wide. Largest in Mississippi ever, and the third largest in the United States ever recorded. Just incredible. Let's get the latest data on this storm here. Tornado warning expires in 23 minutes. Don't know if they'll extend it or not. If they do, looks like the storm is headed in the direction of Georgetown, Louisiana. Dry Prong, Louisiana. Kind of moving in a northeast direction, I suppose. Atlanta, that's Atlanta, Louisiana, is in a tornado right at the edge of the tornado warning, but it's right in the middle of a severe thunderstorm warning. Winfield and Tulos, Urania, Ola, Sykes, Dodson. All of these areas could see potential tornado activity here in the next 45 minutes to an hour. This one back here is really interesting. Look at that thing. Look at the strong bow on that. That's going towards Hall Summit. That is a very pronounced... That's a shelf cloud moving at a very high rate of speed. Wow. Strong storm. Right now, that's the only tornado warning on the map. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and it's going to be like that all day. Clear into the evening hours. Through lunch, it'll take a break sometime this afternoon. Don't know exactly when. And then again this evening, even after dark, after dinner time, be ready for more tornadoes, more severe storms. The atmosphere is going to be in a position to produce that type of weather. Whether it does or not, nobody knows, but at least the conditions are definitely going to be favorable. Let's put it that way. That's a strong storm right there going through Natchez. Now we're starting to see a little bit of an intake with that storm. See it right there? Just to the, north and west of Montgomery, Louisiana. That's where we're at here in north of Alexandria. We're in central Louisiana. Tornado warning, central Louisiana. Looks like it's well north and west of New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Shreveport, south and east of Shreveport. Those are the major cities. But these smaller communities are dealing with some very strong storms right now. And it looks like it's turning from a east-southeast direction. You see that? Now it's going east, slightly northeast. Just changed direction right there. Do you see that? Look, right there, it just went up. It's going to be an interesting day, guys. Got some tall storms over here by Skies. And that would be Skies, Louisiana, or actually Sykes. Very active skies near Sykes, Louisiana. Heavy lightning presence and probably large hail in that area. This will be updating here probably within the next 30 seconds to a minute. Be interesting to see if they add some new severe thunderstorm warnings on here, even tornado warnings. This one here is looking very interesting. It's small, but boy, is it strong. Headed towards Hall Summit. Look at the gap right here. See that gap right there? That's a wind field right there. That's why you don't see anything on radar. That's wind. High winds right there. Quite possibly straight line winds in the area of Ringgold, Hall Summit. Let's see, Martin, Coushatta. Small storm coming through that area, but boy, has it got a strong presence to it. Very strong bow. Still under a tornado warning near Natchez for another 19 minutes. Definitely saw what looked like rotation on the radar. See if it's still there. See the red and green right there? Yeah, it's still there. Absolutely. Watch. Right through there. That's why they issued the tornado warning. Watch. I'll show you. Starts right here. Right by Provincial. Tornado, at least in the sky. And then it moves east of that community and then takes a left-hand turn up into Natchez. There it goes over towards Montgomery. You can tell it's kind of bouncing around. And that's what they do sometimes. That's why when they go through communities and one house will have a significant amount of damage and another one right across the street won't. It's because sometimes these tornadoes go up and down out of the clouds, bounce around. Highly unpredictable. Okay, they just updated the radar. We've got new severe thunderstorm warnings. They've extended the storm tracks much farther to the east and to the northeast. This is a new thunderstorm warning here, which expires in an hour and 3 minutes. These storms must be slowing down, huh? 30 knots, yeah. They're slowing down. That means the hail could get bigger. Hail 1.25, that's 1.25 inches. Slowing down to 30 knots. These storms were moving at around 50 knots, which is over 50 miles per hour. So when they slow down, that means they have a chance to gain height and gain larger hail, or at least the possibility of larger hail. Let's see what this one says with regard to wind. This one's a severe thunderstorm warning, which could change to tornadic at any time. Shreveport, Louisiana, severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 2:45 p.m. local time. At 1:38, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 12 miles northwest of Columbia to 9 miles northwest of Ola, moving east at 35 miles per hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations include Columbia, Clarks, Grayson, Spalding, Vixen, Riverton, and Kelly. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued for central, actually that would be north central Louisiana, which is currently under a tornado warning in Louisiana, in central Louisiana, right in here, near Natchez and Montgomery. I think there's been a tornado on the ground in that area, unconfirmed, but it looks like it on radar. But again, that's unconfirmed. Yep, definitely rotation there. Definitely rotation in that area. Oh, wow. I would say there's a tornado on the ground near Montgomery, Louisiana, based off of what we're seeing here. Absolutely. Montgomery, Louisiana. Oh, my. There's a tornado there. Look at that. That's a big tornado, guys. Look. Look at that. That's a large tornado. Oh my, that's in Montgomery, Montgomery, Louisiana. Definitely a tornado there. Oh wow, that I'm not even gonna say it. We're gonna do distance. Hold on, guys. Oh Lord. Let's see if there's debris. Yes, there's debris. Okay. Well, that's why we're watching. Big heads up if you're in Montgomery, and that's moving to the east. Looks like it's taking a northeast track, quite possibly. At least a little bit. That's where it's got that rotation right there. Okay, that's headed towards Atlanta. Not Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Louisiana. Got a possible tornado on the ground in that area. At least that's what it looks like from this perspective. Definitely looks like it. At least there's rotation, significant rotation. That's what we saw last week using the same instruments, and it was showing us the same type of data. And there was a record tornado on the ground. I'm not saying that this is a record by any means. I hope not. Hopefully it's not even on the ground. But what I saw, it definitely implies rotation. Yes, there's rotation in the sky. Whether it made it to the ground, I don't know, but it looks like it did. Near Montgomery, Louisiana. And that's in central Louisiana. That's where we're at. That's where the majority of the high-octane action is at right now in central Louisiana. It's moving east, northeast, headed towards Mississippi and Alabama. It's going to be like this all day, off and on. At sometimes, there's going to be tornado warnings because the atmosphere is highly primed for this type of activity. They're just updated. They've extended the storm track, but they have not extended the tornado warning, at least not yet. That looks like a classic tornado, guys. It's just undeniable. That's what we see here. That's a classic tornado. In fact, that's classic. Absolutely. Hopefully it's not on the ground. Oh yeah. Tornado signature, Montgomery, Louisiana, right there. See if there's any new debris. Yes, I don't see a debris ball. We saw a debris ball last week. Was actually kind of rare to see on these things. That could be one right there, but I don't think so. But to see one on the Super Res is kind of rare. The correlation coefficient, that's what that's for, is to see debris, not this one. But when you see debris on here, then you know that it's a significant tornado. I'm not seeing necessarily debris on here, but I see tornado signature for sure. Montgomery, Louisiana. There was a tornado there. Whether it touched down, don't know. I think it did. A lot of lightning in this area. A lot of lightning. This is very, very energetic atmosphere. Very energetic. And tornadoes are more than likely probable today. We say possible because they haven't happened yet. Unless you're in this area. There's been a tornado here. Whether it touched down or not, I don't know. But tornadoes are very probable today. Now they've just moved the new tornado warning. They did move it. It's been extended now. And it's that system right there. Still includes Montgomery. Let's see if it's been confirmed. Tornado warning remains in effect until 2 p.m. for central Grant and southwestern Wynn parishes. At 1:46 p.m., that would be local time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Montgomery, moving and actually 15 miles east of Natchitoches, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Radar indicated rotation. Boy, it sure did. More than likely, there's trees, power lines down from this storm near Flora, community in southern Natchitoches Parish. Tornadic. The radar indicated Well, the radar didn't indicate, but it did look like there was debris. This is a tornadic thunderstorm, and it will remain over mainly rural areas of central Grant and southwestern Wynn parishes. And that's a good thing. We can see that it did get very, very close to Montgomery, and now it's out in a rural area, which if you're going to have a tornado, which that's just how Earth works, it's best to have them in an unpopulated area. That's the ideal place, but it doesn't always work out that way. Atlanta, Louisiana is seeing severe thunderstorms right now. In fact, they're under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 9 minutes, but I fully expect that to be extended and moved to the east-northeast. In fact, there's already a severe thunderstorm ahead of that severe thunderstorm over in the areas of Clarks, Columbia, and that is in Louisiana, northeastern Louisiana, where there's a flash flood warning right now. Heavy lightning presence. This tornado here, let me see if we can still see any rotation. Yeah, there's a tornado out in the country. That would be east and slightly north of Montgomery, Louisiana. That's tornado signature. It's a rotating supercell thunderstorm. And you can look here to see if there's debris. If there's debris, then you know it was on the ground. Yeah, there's debris right there. That's how debris gets carried by these storms. It gets lifted way up into the air, and it goes for maybe 10, 15. You know, we've all heard of that, these types of tornadoes, not necessarily this one in particular, but tornadoes have, carried debris for many, many miles. And right there is exactly how it gets lifted up into the air for 5 miles, straight up in the air, and then it's going to get carried with the storm for, who knows? It could be a mile, it could be 2 miles, it could be 20. Very unpredictable. Look at the lightning presence in that area near Atlanta. And that would be Atlanta, Louisiana. Atlanta, Louisiana. Just learned that today. So that's the first of probably many tornado warnings that we'll see today. Based off of what we're looking at on radar, the atmosphere is very, very primed for tornadoes all through this area. Over into Alabama, which we'll check out here in just a moment. Mississippi, where they saw record tornadoes last week, one of the largest ever in U.S. history, near Laurel in southern Mississippi. One of the largest tornadoes in history since record keeping began. 2.25 mile wide. Atmosphere is primed again today. Will it produce another 2 mile wide tornado? I have no idea. I hope not. I just know that conditions are favorable for tornadoes, high winds, heavy, heavy rain at times. That's why there's flash flood warnings. In fact, let's check out this flash flood warning that expires in 3 hours. Due to the heavy rain that's going to continue for a long period of time, National Weather Service out of Shreveport. Flash flood warning, which means it's ongoing. A watch means it could. A warning means it is. And this is until 5 p.m. local time at 1 o'clock. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorm producing heavy rain in Monroe. Between 1 and 3 inches of rain has already fallen, and rain is going to continue. And once it starts coming down at those incredible rates, 1, 2, 3 inches per hour, then it gets impossible to manage. The storm drains get overwhelmed. The natural managers, which are creeks, rivers, and streams, well, when the ground's already saturated, then it has nowhere to go but up. It ends up going into communities and roads and people's yards, and then it creates flooding issues. And this ground is very saturated. They've seen a lot of rain in some areas. They've seen more rain already now than they get for an entire year. In fact, well over the annual total, especially in Jackson. I think Jackson, Mississippi, where a lot of this rain is headed, it's raining there now. They've seen, a foot, maybe 18 inches above the yearly average already. and it's still raining, and we've got the rest of the year to go. So Atlanta, Louisiana, right in the middle of a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning. Very heavy rainfall right now in Atlanta, Louisiana. Look at that. Very big lightning presence. High winds, quite possibly, I wouldn't say large hail, but small to moderate hail in that area. I don't see any very tall storms. These are lowriders, and that one there, that tornado warning expires in 4 minutes. It'll be interesting to see if they extend that. Let's look at the relative. There's still rotation there. That's rotation. I'm going to assume they're going to extend that. Luckily, though, look, it's out here in the country. That's a great place for a tornado. Watch. So even if it was a tornado, if it stayed on the ground for another 18 miles, it's mainly rural areas. So that's a good place for a tornado, right out where there's not a large population, if any at all. I'm sure there's probably some farms out there. I can't tell, though, with this radar. Shows me the cities like Atlanta, Louisiana, in the middle of a severe thunderstorm warning and right on the edge of a tornado warning. Right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tornado warning now in Texas. Look at that. Let's go check it out. Brand new tornado warning south of Houston. There was one down there earlier east of Houston. Let's check it out. See what they're dealing with. This is going to be an ongoing pattern all day, even into the evening hours. Texas has got a abundance of radars. Let's see if it's on the Houston radar. I kind of doubt it. Maybe it is. Yeah, it is. All right, so we've now got 2 tornado warnings, and look for these, like I said, to continue throughout the day. This is near Holiday Lakes, West Columbia, right near, not too far from the coast, actually. Tornado warning expires in 32 minutes, issued by the National Weather Service out of Houston and Galveston until 2:30 p.m. At 1:52 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles northeast of Van Vleck, 10 miles northwest of Sweeney, moving east at 30 miles an hour. And see, these storms today are moving at least their forward motion is more normal, 30 miles an hour, 32, that's what we're used to seeing, not 100 like we saw last week. Let's see, tornado radar indicated rotation, $50 size hail in this area. Let's look at the radar. Look at the lightning presence too. Very energetic storm right there headed towards Holiday Lakes, just north of West Columbia. Damon's included in a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's look for some possible rotation. Yeah, a little. Not like we saw over in Louisiana, though. See right there? There's a little bit. Compared to what we saw in Louisiana, that's, it's more than likely in the air. That's a rotating supercell is what that is. Doesn't look like it's on the ground, but see, there's too much clutter there. Base reflectivity, I can't tell if there's any debris or not. I don't think so because it doesn't look like rotation, unless, no, that's not a debris ball. Nevertheless, that's a tornado warning right there in southeastern Texas, west of Galveston. Now they've extended this tornado warning. Now we have 2 tornado warnings up in Louisiana. We need to go back up and see the new tornado warning, central Louisiana. And in fact, that's been extended a long ways. Sometimes that implies long track. That's what happened last weekend. I'm not saying that's the case here, but we're going to go check it out. So now we've got 2 tornado warnings. They did extend this one, and I'm not surprised at all. And like we just measured, if it does continue in that direction between where it's at now and the next community is about 18 miles away, that's Georgetown. These tornadoes can stay on the ground for a long, long time. Last week, there was one on the ground, one of the record-setting tornadoes in Mississippi for over 80 miles. So it's not unheard of. But I don't know what we've got going on here. Let's see. This tornado warning's a brand new one. Expires in 44 minutes from the National Weather Service out of Shreveport until 2:45 p.m. local time. At 1:56 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 11 miles east of Montgomery, or 15 miles south of Winfield, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation. This is a dangerous storm, and it will be near Jenna around 2:35 p.m. local time, Midway around 2:40 p.m. local time. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Zenoria, Urania, Williania, Georgetown, Rochelle, and Telos. And I have a feeling, and they're advising people, this is again the National Weather Service, they're advising people to take cover now. That's what they're advising. Tornado, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible. That's without the tornado. And 1 inch, looks like 1 inch hail associated with this storm. Expect hail damage to vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs and trees. And they're advising people to take cover. So if you're in these areas, interior room, preferably with no glass, away from exterior walls at the very least, or a basement. Just updated and extended the storms again. See how they're extending east, northeast. They'll be over in Mississippi soon. At least this severe component. There's already rain going on over there. They've got so much rain in some of these areas that they just simply don't know what to do with it. Some of these rivers are going to start to crest up out of their banks. A lot of moisture, been in a severe pattern here recently, a very wet pattern for several weeks. And it's like the jet stream has taken on a new path, almost a subtropical jet. I don't know. Boy, that storm system there, look at that. Looked like a boomerang flying through the sky. Look at how fast that storm system was moving. Are you serious? Look at that. I mean, it's moving a few miles with each frame. Wow. I'm talking about this one right here. Look at that. Just went through Hall Summit. Watch. Here it comes. There it goes. Wow. I'm just saying, that's just weird, that's all. That storm looked like it was in some sort of a race. Wow. Okay, new tornado warning. Now we're in same general place, central, moving over into east central Louisiana right now, and all of this energy is moving towards Mississippi, parts of, in fact, a big part of Georgia, mainly north central Georgia, parts of southern Tennessee. I wouldn't rule out southern Tennessee. Obviously, Arkansas is getting a storm here and there. But right now, the majority of the activity is down in East Texas, Southeast Texas, and central Louisiana. 2 tornado warnings right now as we do this video. Let's look and see if there's still rotation. We've seen a lot with this system right here. And it's okay. It's minimizing some. Watch. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, there's where it's at right now. You can see it's not as bright of a green. When we back it up, see it's a little brighter there. A little brighter there. It was stronger there. See how strong it was right there? Right around Montgomery, right? We step it forward, it weakens some. At least the speed component. So it could be recycling. I don't know. All I can tell you, it's not as strong as it was, which is a good thing. Not as strong as it was, but this is going to, that's just the one storm though. There's multiple storms through here. Look at all the lines. All those lines represent storms. There's Atlanta. What? Are you serious? Wait a minute. Okay. No way. Okay, there's Atlanta, Texas, right? Okay, watch. Atlanta, Texas. Atlanta, Louisiana. Atlanta, Georgia. 3 communities, one very large, with the same name: Atlanta, Atlanta, and Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta, Louisiana, and Atlanta, Texas. I did not know that until just now. I just learned that. I wonder why, with all the choices, why we chose the same name. Literally, out of billions of possibilities, we chose the same name for 3 communities in three states. Did not know that. All right, guys. 2 tornado warnings, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. This is going to continue. Hopefully it won't turn into an outbreak. Let's take a look at the latest from, that's Windy right there. And you can see that's in the area. Windy got it right again. That's the area right now where the severe or the tornado warnings are. But this will continue throughout the day. There's this afternoon. Later on in the evening, these storms are going to continue moving over into, look, Georgia, Alabama. See here at the GOES. Let's refresh this, see what it looks like. This is the GOES 16. Normally when you see the bright orange on here, especially the deep burgundies, I've seen black on here before, which is very, very strong. That means those storms are reaching incredible heights. Yeah, you can see the atmosphere is really starting to flex right in through here. Look at that. Oh my, it's going to get busy today, guys. It's going to be busy today. That's probably the first, and we're looking at 2 tornado warnings now, one in Texas and one in central Louisiana, just like Windy told us. Windy.com. This tornado warning here expires in 37 minutes. And that is in central Louisiana, moving into east central Louisiana at about 35, 40 miles per hour, which is pretty typical, you know. When we were seeing storm speeds last week of 70, 80, 90, had a couple over 100 mile an hour forward speed. I mean, that was absolutely astonishing. I'd never seen anything like that. I never even dreamt that a storm could move that fast, at least with forward momentum. We're going to hop over to, here's what's going on over in the Jackson, Mississippi area. And this area here, south of Jackson, could see some activity today with regard to tornadoes. Right now, there's a lone severe thunderstorm warning in east central Mississippi right now. And the energy is just moving in, guys. So things are really just getting warmed up here. It's going to be an evening, probably after dinner event, more in Mississippi and Alabama. Later on this afternoon and this evening. But right now there's 1 severe thunderstorm warning in the areas of, let's see, Morton, Forest, Lake, Conehatta, Newton, down here in Polkville, which it looks like it's pretty much past Polkville for the time being. But that's a severe thunderstorm warning near Jackson, Mississippi. Be due east of Jackson, Mississippi, about 20 miles, I think. Let's see. Around 30. The storm itself stretches for, at least the storm warning stretches for about 33 miles. So that's what's happening over in the Jackson area. Now, if we hop over to Birmingham, there was a lot of action over there last weekend. A lot of activity. This is what's going on in Birmingham, or at least in the Birmingham, Alabama area. Birmingham, Montgomery, nothing severe at the present time. These are thunderstorms moving from east to west, from the west coast of Alabama to the east coast, border to border. You've got strong storms, nothing severe at the moment, but a lot of storm activity. You got two lines of storms. See that? And you've got a gap right through the center, which that will probably fill later on today. But strong storms, nothing severe, south of Birmingham and the Tuscaloosa area, moving east, slightly northeast. Let's see how quickly these storms are moving. 44 knots. Yeah, it's pretty typical, you know. That's not something that we, or at least me, I don't consider that super fast. Let's go over to the Atlanta, Georgia area. There's going to be storms through there later on today into the evening hours. It's just one of those days where you want to keep your weather app on, or at least have your alerts ready. This is what's going on in Georgia. See, it's a wide area of storms. These aren't necessarily severe, but there's heavy rain associated with those, high winds, and these storms are moving at 45 knots. This one here is moving at 35 knots. That's very, very typical. Very typical. But look for a lot of action in the Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama areas later on today. Probably in some of the same locations that we saw last week. Very well could be. I'm not saying exactly, but that's where a lot of this energy is moving towards. If you look at the radar, you can see it's moving right through where there was two large tornadoes last week. One that set a record for the state of Mississippi. The largest ever was right down here. We watched it on radar. It went right through Prentice, Collins, Laurel, so. And there's two storms right now moving in that direction. Nothing severe. They're just heavy rain, small storms. In fact, they're going to be in and out of the area in probably less than 5 minutes. But we're starting to see an uptick in severe thunderstorm activity moving towards Philadelphia, Mississippi. And a lot of storms, in fact, you can see they're starting to grow in size. In fact, exponentially, actually quite fast. So far, one tornado warning in Mississippi, or I'm sorry, in Louisiana, right there in central Louisiana, that will expire in, let's go in a little tighter, 31 minutes. But all of this energy is moving towards Mississippi. It's already there. It's just not severe at the time being. But the atmospheric conditions are favorable for severe weather today. Absolutely. So I'm going to go back and check this storm here for rotation. And then we're going to, let's see, yeah, there's still one down in southeast Texas. But I don't think it's got any major rotation that I could see. Okay, this is headed towards Georgetown. That's Georgetown, Louisiana, Tulos, and Urania. And this storm expires in 31 minutes, at least the tornado warning. The storm's going to continue on for quite some time. Let's see if we can see any rotation with that storm. I don't think, at least there wasn't, but these things recycle a little bit. See it right there? a little bit of rotation. It's kind of elongated, but not near as strong as it was earlier. So that one is definitely still there, weakening a lot. Don't even see any debris anymore, that's fantastic. But watch for more tornado warnings throughout the day. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, this whole area. So I'm going to take a little break, guys, and we'll come back on. We start to see an uptick in tornadoes, but right now the only tornado warnings in central Louisiana and southeastern Texas near Lake Jackson. So we'll be back on later if we see an uptick in the tornadic activity. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there. Talk to you soon.